I think my time at Block, I took a lot about how to actually have a design business as well, and how it should be run. It's not so much just about drawing the pretty pictures, it's about managing the whole thing, you know. I mean, the only time I've ever done a design that's made someone cry was when I was working at Block, and that I'll always have, and to take that kind of stuff away is awesome, and the correct way to get the best result without compromising, you know, but still giving them what's right for them. The biggest thing I got from Block was coming up with a process and how to actually run a business, and I wouldn't have got that from somewhere else. I think you're not just a cog in the wheel.
Cool.
I think the toughest thing at Block was probably the same as the other thing, which was learning how to run a business and how to not let your clients down, and how to do everything you can to get that result, and how tough that is. You know, especially in some situations, it's all or nothing. Well, I think what's helped me from Block to be able to be the designer I am today, and is a process. It's a process that I knew you should do before I started at Block. But being at Block, there was no compromise to that process, and the process was about getting the idea. And I already knew that, but I think if you worked somewhere else, it would be easy to forget that, because some places don't push that like Block does. If I'm failing on something, it's because I've lost the process, and I know that. If I'm working on a job and it's not coming together, it's because I've slacked off somewhere along the line, and that's the only reason. I think that I'm really lucky in that when I was at Block, it's what it was. You know, it was a home when I started there, and I think that's awesome. You know, I started in someone's home, and this has gone from being that home to what Block is today. And to say that I was there at the roots of the family level is awesome. And I think that part of the culture was great. And I saw, in my stage, I saw it go from being a home to being a studio. Like, by the time I left, you were in the new studio, and this family fact was still there. You know, it had gone from being in a home to being a design home. The awesome crossover points of the people I worked with as well, like working with Steph at the start was great, and you know, she was like a mentor for me as well, and I love that. And then to cross over with Jenny at the other side, and that's the family thing coming together again, you know. And I think that's part of the culture, and definitely huge. And the dog. I can't believe she's still around. And the babies. And then even then, it was still a house across the road. And when I was in trouble, that's where I had to go across the road and see Tanya. I don't know if my perspective on Block has really changed. I mean, I loved working at Block, and leaving Block was, you know, the hardest thing, but also the best thing for me in a way. I still think I wish I could go back. What I really love about my time at Block is the jobs that I worked on. They're still some of my favourite things to look at in my folio, because they were meaty and they had thought behind them, and they had a lot in them, and that was what I really loved. And that's what I still get them. Like, I've had those jobs since, but they're harder to get on your own. And the rollout, I think they were selecting you for the rollout, the way that you can pull it all together, and they're not leaving with just a logo on a piece of paper. I think I introduced the Friday lunch, but how do I influence Block? That's actually the hardest question, because I don't know, I think Block influenced me, and I don't know if I influenced Block. Maybe I influenced you guys to be a bit more relaxed. I hope that a little bit of influence of going home a bit earlier came from me almost dying a couple of times. I liked it. If I couldn't come up with something, you'd encourage me. I'm like, I think I need to go for a walk, and you're like, go for a walk. And you know, that kind of relaxed way of designing and letting it come from any way that you need to find it. What do you think I gave to the studio creatively? Big Photoshop files. and I'd like to think that the way that I continued the brand is what I bought. I mean, you've got your own ways that you always did of continuing the brand through everything, but I'd like to think that my way of continuing the brand was a little bit different, and that's something that you could hold on to. By the way, my complexity of design, but being able to get simple things from it. I think maybe that's it. I think my perception of Block was, before I started, was it would be the best place to work, and then my perception afterwards, it was the best place to work. I don't see it any different.